Welcome back to the Verse family. Perfect. You look good.
Ah!
I'm sorry. I almost knocked you out, girl. I'm so sorry. You don't deserve that.
Oh,
You deserve much better than that. Much better hit than I'm just kidding. So today we're gonna be talking about being in the interracial Africa. Alright. I'm Activerse.
I'm Issaverse.
So today we're gonna be talking about interracial.
Yeah, interracial relationships.
Interracial
relationships. And what ours has been like. Why do you keep moving? Stop moving.
Because I don't like the fact that I'm like tucked in the back.
Get off.
Alright, hug me then. Let's see what that look like.
No.
Okay. Today let me put it down a little bit now.
Oh,
You went down.
Lord Jesus. My edge is messed up.
Alright, we're gonna talk about being in the
Get off.
like kicking me out of the video. I can get out of
You
the
wanted me to scoot up.
Okay. Today we're gonna be talking about being in a relationship.
An interracial. Let me talk. We're gonna talk about how it's like to be in an interracial relationship. We'll talk about the challenges and the privileges and how it's been. One challenge is he likes his language, and I don't hate it. I like it, but he doesn't translate. He very rarely translates.
Barely, I'm barely in the footage.
You have the camera pointed this way. I'm trying to be on the cushion. Oh Lord.
God, Lord, man. What are some of the challenges that we face? What are some things that we experience? So we're gonna talk about being in a relationship that is interracial. I'm African from Ethiopia originally.
I am Mexican American. I was born and raised in Arizona. 4th generation. So it's pretty up there. My great grandparents were born in Mexico. And that's only on one side of the family. The other side is still another generation.
Mine is, I have a great grandfather that is Italiano. I have a great grandfather that's from Italy.
I'm part Filipino, I've been told. You didn't know that?
No.
I'm part Filipino.
Guys,
The grandmother that
oh yes,
is my middle name, Anita.
Anita, yes.
She's Filipino.
I do remember that now. You kind of look like you're Philippine too. You can pass for that. It is a challenge in general to be in a relationship that's like this. I haven't got a lot of hate, I wouldn't say. I think I've got more so backstabbed. Like people talking behind your back about it or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but I had never had somebody that came to me forward and say, why are you dating? Why are you not dating? Or why did you not marry your own people? Think like that. I could understand it if it was like if I lived in a village and and I grew up in a culture like I have to marry the same person that looks just like me. But no, I was raised in the city, so you know, explore your options. What is out there. And America is known for that too, for being very interracial. So it's easy to find any type of ethnicity in America than anywhere else in this world, I believe.
Okay, so our upbringings. We could talk about how we're raised just a little bit so you could get an understanding how coming into a marriage is kind of hard because we were raised differently and we lived differently. So I grew up in the hood, like in the ghetto. So I'm from West Phoenix, in Arizona. So
Glendale.
I didn't. Phoenix.
Oh.
I didn't grow up.
All right.
Let me talk. I didn't grow up in Glendale.
You look like Glendale.
I grew up in Phoenix,
All right.
in West Phoenix.
Glendale's nice, by the way.
So like, if you know, you know, like
AZ
the ghetto. So like around
27th
39th and McDowell to like 27th Avenue Indian School, like, you know, that's all I gotta say. But I grew up like around gang violence, around drugs, around guns, around addiction, around violence, poverty. Never felt poor because I was always provided for, but we always lived with people. Like, we never really had our own house. We probably did like twice, but it wasn't very stable. I did not grow up Christian at all. My family's Catholic, I guess, but the only knowledge of God I had was my grandparents used to take me to Catholic church with them, but it was in Spanish. and I wasn't taught Spanish, so I wouldn't even know what they're talking about. Like, I just went so I could go to IHOP after. And even when I was with my grandparents a lot, like even when we had our own house, our own apartments, I would still go with my grandparents just because I liked being with them. So even though they did know Spanish, they never taught me it. None of my siblings know Spanish. My parents don't know Spanish. So yeah, that was like a little mini part of my upbringing. Like
Can I talk now?
In Ethiopia, yeah, you can.
All right. Thank you for letting me talk, Maya. I was brought up in Ethiopia. I came out here when I was 14 years old. Any memories that I had before 14, I can't recall.
Baby.
All right, so I came out here 2012, right? I was 14 years old. Do the math. I'm 27. And after living here for like a few years, I was able to catch to everything that the culture was about here. Not everything, to be honest with you. Like, I lived in Portland and I lived in Kansas. That's two different. In Arizona, that's 3 different places in the world. Literally, seem like it's the United States, but it's United States Midwest, United States Pacific West, and then United States West Coast. So I really liked Arizona because I feel like it was very diverse, and for me to connect to people that were out here was easier than anywhere else that I've been, except of course from my country. So when I moved out here at 14, before that, of course, I was raised in a home that was very kind of like not too strict, but like there was some rules and certain things that I had to abide to. Actually, yeah, there was a lot of rules.
Strict.
And yeah, and there was like we can't leave the house and stuff like that because, you know, there's stuff going on in the world that's bad. So we was raised in a home, 3 brothers. I have a total of 4 brothers and 1 little sister. But I grew up with 2 of them because we are like the older ones. And so a lot of things that I was taught was very different, especially like as culture, morality, and like the standard of honor basically towards people in general. Very different than when I moved to America. People are more so free out here versus there. Out there, it's like it's almost like a shame to bring anything that's like embarrassing to your family. Like, families can disown you and stuff like that. You cannot, you know, embarrass your family because your family name is known by a lot of people and stuff like that. So like, if they say this person did bad, oh, that's that person's son, that's that person's uncle, not uncle, but that's that person's son, and that's that person's family and stuff like that. So there's a lot of like strict rules based on culture wise. I was raised in a home where it was just my dad that mostly was there. My mom passed away when I was young. It was very different growing up. I would just say that. It was very different. And I can't say very different to describing how other people grew because I don't know how it felt. I don't know how it went, both parents being there and stuff like that. That did have a lot of things imprinted in me as I matured up. And I do not like to go back to those moments as in to brag about it, but I don't mind sharing it, being open about it in public. And so that people understand, like, this is like how I was raised. This is who I am. Being raised by a dad itself is just like, it's tough. I know a lot of people get raised other way around, but not to go in depth to it. That's how I was raised. And a lot of stuff that were a problem was with also our family members. There are some things, some challenges that we are, of course, dealing with right now. Not dealing with it like right now, but like this everyday thing that we have to be aware of and not to offend each other in any shape or form. You know what I'm saying? And it's like she's getting used to the food that I'll eat. You know, my culture, the language that I speak. That is a challenge that she don't speak it, so now that I have to translate it so that she can understand it. Or sometimes it's like I give her the context of what I said because it's easier than to translate word to word or so. And she's learning to be more patient, I would say.
Yeah.
Because she used to just flip out right away, but now I think she has more patience and she's grown in her patience towards my culture because it's a lot to learn and it's a lot to take in.
Our family dynamics were different too. Like, my parents weren't married. And his mom passed away, so we didn't. Now we have examples of like married couples, but I never really had an example of that growing up. So it's like we kind of had to figure out to be our own example. We do have our spiritual parents now, so that was helpful, but it's like all the things we saw growing up, it's like it's kind of engraved in us and we have to dig it up and get it out. So like those were challenges. Like our entire premarital counseling was discovering all those deep things, and they were all completely different, and we had to talk about them, and this is why I got mad when you did this 3 months ago. Turns out this happened when I was little, or you know, and like he dealt with things that I've never even heard of. I've dealt with things he's never even heard of. So it's kind of interesting, you know, like although it comes with challenges, because you're kind of forced to discover these different things, and it's like you're kind of forced to analyze them because he has no idea what you're talking about, or I have no idea what he's talking about. Okay. As for like food, it's like I mean, in America there's a lot of Mexican food, especially in Arizona, so he's eaten it a lot. I've made him stuff like here and there, and he's liked it, but he already knows it. Like it's nothing new really. Some things are new, but like it's not really.
And it matters
that
to
different.
It matters to your preference. Like she don't prefer exploring new things.
Yeah.
Like she likes to stick with what she knows. So that was a challenge also. For me, it's like I like to explore new things because I've been exploring all my life, basically moving from place to place to place to place and getting here. And so I'm telling you, that's a big thing that if you're interracial to talk about. Like really, like what do you like? What kind of food do you like? Because that matters. And a lot of the conversation that we have is from food.
Yeah, it's funny.
Like, what do you want to eat? I don't know. I don't feel like that. But like, not even like cultural food, but just saying, just in general.
Like in general.
In general, food is a thing.
But like culture-wise, like that's been an extra thing that I feel like people don't normally deal with.
And people could say like, oh, why is she not like that? But like, that's how she was raised. Like,
yeah,
you know?
I just stuck to what I know.
That's what she knows. Like, literally, she sticks to what she knows. Even like, whenever we talked about going to Florida for our honeymoon,
yeah,
she never left the state before in her life. You've been where? Sedona?
California.
Oh yeah, you've been.
And Michigan.
On like to live? Like,
no, I've never been anywhere longer than like less than a week.
Yeah, like she never went somewhere to live or stay.
Yeah.
I mean, the Florida trip was pretty far too, so it kind of was like.
It's like I like doing what I know.
She like doing what she knows.
That's not good, because I don't like I don't like being confused. I don't like being like I don't like being dumb. So that's why I don't like trying new
that's
things.
So true.
But it's hot. That's bad, because it's like, how am I gonna find out stuff about him if I don't like new things? It's like we would never go to Ethiopia.
I think that like attraction works good to bring somebody to be with you in the beginning, but later on, like attraction is not what keeps you there. It's really like the deep things. Like
I just don't want to go too deep.
Like,
I want to keep it interracial.
Yeah, like she was attracted to me, and she wanted to know more about me. You know what I'm saying? It's like I was attracted to her. I wanted to know more about her, and we have 2 different cultures, so we have to know a lot.
I mean, like I learned a lot about him because I interviewed him. Like,
That's true.
I learned a lot about his culture. Like I didn't know him like that, so it didn't really mean much at the time until like we started hanging out more, and like then I understood it more. But it's like I learned everything about him because of the paper I had to write. Like it was a 5-page paper, probably longer, that I had to write. So it's like I learned a lot about him, and he still didn't know anything about me. Another thing, like because like the race thing was like family and like other people like not being okay with it. Like I don't know if he mentioned it before, but how like some of his family, like, well, why don't you marry your kind of people, you know?
Both of our family.
Yeah, both of our family. But it's like my family, I know that.
But it's
happens.
like
your family, it's like it's unspoken.
Yeah,
like my family told me straight up. Certain family members, not my entire family. My family loves him, but it's just certain family members that it's like even before we recording, I asked them like, what would you do? Like, would you be okay with it? And they straight up said no. Like, I would disown you type of vibes.
To where we got today, like everything that we dealt with based on that, like that don't even matter anymore. You know, if we didn't get to this point, then they may have been right, maybe.
Like the fact that he was black and I wasn't even something I noticed. until someone will point it out. Like, honestly, like, we go places and it's not something I think about, like, oh, we're a mixed couple. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Like, even calling us an interracial relationship is weird.
Yeah,
because it's not something I thought about, but it's like certain people do notice it, and when you're around certain people, you'll notice it. It's like you don't notice it's something to notice until you're around people that look at you a certain way or say things a certain way. Like, there are certain people will be around and like they'll say something about him, like about race, and then they'll look at me like, because they know I'll say something, but it's like I don't notice it because it's like I didn't know there was something I had to be on guard for. But now that they made that expression, now I'm like, oh, okay, I know how you meant it now.
And when I'm with my family, you notice that I'm African as heck.
Yeah, like, because they talk in their language, so it's like when a lot of their families here, like, it's like Spanglish in a way, but with Amharic. So it's like I don't really know what they're talking about, so I just kind of sit there, which kind of I had to get used to not let it get me like irritated. But I mean,
we try to get her as involved as we can to her, to be honest with you.
But that's something for them to learn too.
Is like
they've never had to translate for anyone, so that's something they have to get used to.
My family is pretty good at catering to other people. Even my dad, like, he wants to include people a lot. Like, he wants to include you in everything that he says or he does.
Yeah, his dad's really nice.
And it's like that's how my brother is. It's just like, but you can get easily offended by first, like, not seeing, like, it matters how you see your spouse or before you get married, like how they interact with their family, because then you will know what's coming once you get married and when they're with their family. You kind of know how they would interact. I think that matters. It matters how you like learn that how I interact with my family is very different than how I interact with like people that are from here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that matters, I would say. Like,
so did it matter you seeing me how I am with my family?
Yes, that matters a lot. Because it's like it's a whole different person that you will see with your family versus just you hanging out with me. But
it's been a nice discovery. I've learned things I never knew, so
it's a fun journey. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you guys for watching this video. All to say that is, it don't matter what color you are, what culture you are.
But these are some things you may deal with.
Yes, but at the end of the day, you have to deal with that person based on how they were raised, their culture. Like, it doesn't matter that they're their color or anything like that, but it matters how you deal with them. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. And till next time, we are the Verse Family.
By God's grace, I'm very well. Found a good thing.